What's up guys, Brian Wilson here, Força Martial Arts. Gonna do sort of a topical training vlog for you, talking about why people drop their hands. Okay, so we have a boxing club here at the gym, we do kickboxing, and people keeping their hands up is something that if you watch martial arts is a sport, or like in my literal job here at the gym, if you want to call it that. It's a passion, so I don't like calling it a job. But with what we do at the gym, I'm fortunate enough to get to see people engage in these ideas every day for a long period of time, okay? And you notice that some key reasons why people make some mistakes, right? And I'm gonna kind of highlight some of it. One thing I notice about why people drop hands is they come in, they sort of already have an idea of it. They've seen it either in the UFC or MMA or whatever, which I would say, like, holistically, when it comes to a like high quality boxing, typically most of your MMA fighters are not there. So if you get somebody that I think is coming to our boxing program, and I'm trying to teach them fundamental defense at all times first before they start fighting like Canelo Alvarez with their hands down, you know, I think they've seen that, whether it's in MMA or whether it's in boxing, right? The highest level people are fighting with their hands down, but they're doing that for reasons too, right? Some of the reasons I've heard and talk about, study, train, examine, is that, here's the thing, if you are doing a big, wide, weaving motion, rolling your shoulders, I hit you with the hook here, I get good alignment. So it's an angular sort of idea. Also, like, you look at your traditional martial arts, I joke around with a lot of people, I'm like, I think that, like, in karate and taekwondo, they just got tired of, like, trying to keep their hands up at all times and just started fighting right here. It's a joke, but, I mean, you see the traditional sort of boxing perspective in those arts I mentioned, a lot of times involving, like, torquing the hip, but involving this low sort of chambered position on your hand and arm strikes, okay? And like I was talking about shoulder rolls yesterday and drawing techniques, drawing people to attack you. And with that, you know, I might put my hand down a little bit to get you to strike there and block with my shoulder. So that's another sort of reference to people who've seen Floyd Mayweather block more punches with his shoulder than any other boxer blocking anything, okay? So that's kind of background, foundation of what I want to talk about. And take it to sort of the next level, things that I'm observing that are just sort of timeless mistakes, right? So things to be aware of. One, I noticed when people are throwing 1 and 2 counts, my beginners, even advanced students, they look great. Their hands come back to their face, okay? That's one big thing, is you gotta be having your hands up while you're punching, okay? You gotta be having your hands up after you punch. Okay, so that would mean, like, here, I'm throwing a jab, my hand is up. So what I see a lot of times is that. I'll see somebody drop. I see some people also drop their hands when they weave. Now, I don't see people dropping their hands a whole lot when they throw it just a single punch, but it's more like they do the 1, they do the 2, and they're focused on the 3 coming, and they forget to bring their hand back to their face on the 2. Another one we talk about is the locomotive. Right? It's a joke, but it does. It looks like a choo-choo train. Okay, so these are some situations I definitely notice. Is, like I said at first, people just they have an idea that you don't always have to have your hands up because that's what they've seen as a part of the culture of striking. Well, you're at the pinnacle level, that's great. I think in the beginning you need to have fundamental defense at all times, and that starts with having your hands up. If you're going to lower your hands down, it needs to be for a reason, because you're trying to hit an angular punch or draw them to attack you, okay? And people dropping their hands while they're punching with 1, right? Or after they punch, it doesn't come back, or while they're weaving and moving their head. So those are just some really, like I said, they're timeless mistakes. They're mistakes that people are going to make, and all we can do is kind of work around them and then deal with them, because it's going to happen. So then it becomes like the situation of which I've just explained, that we seek to work around it in that, like, hey, you're gonna do that, you're gonna drop your hand, so let's do it for a reason. Oh, you're trying to get them to punch with that hand so you can block and do a shoulder roll, uppercut to the body, or whatever. Okay, so I always like to put strategies behind what we do. Like I've always heard this adage, never back up in a fight, ever. You're losing if you're backing up in a fight, it's not good. Yes, on the judges' scorecards, that is correct. But you also need to be able to fight moving backwards, because I've seen it be a reality in almost every fight I've ever seen, unless it was a quick finish or total domination. People back up in fights, right? What about the person that was getting dominated backing up? Like, are they just to have no techniques or strategies? So, you know, nobody's going to be perfect. You have martial arts styles that fight with their hands down, and you have boxers that fight with their hands down, and then you have this idea of bring your hands up, keep your hands up, fundamental defense at all times. And again, I just kind of tell my people, I'm like, look, when we get you to a high level, you're going to essentially start boxing however you want, right? And we're always talking about ideas and making people wear things on the front end before that time comes. So when they do get there, they're not just totally deficient in those strategies, okay? So that's just a few things on why would you keep your hands up and when do you drop them, right? So think about some of that. Also encourage people, one thing that I've always had a lot of success with is this method, right? You're watching this video. Take 1, 2 of these ideas, think about them between now and the next time you spar, okay? That might not do it, right? I noticed like things I received the first time, but you've been introduced to the ideas. You know the mistakes you're gonna make. Go look for them when you get in the gym. Then, not necessarily watch this video again, but think about that situation that occurred before the next time you go to the gym. When I learn a new technique at a seminar or whatever, I see a video, whatever it is, right? I'm thinking about it, I go try it. It may have some mixed success rates, it may work, it may not. Then I go home and I'm like, man, that move I was doing back in the gym, that strategy, that idea, that concept, blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm thinking about it. And it's that next time back at the gym that when I put in that thought work, right, those mental reps, that's when I see it paying off more so for me that second time in the gym. So just a little training tip and strategy. Check out our vlogs on YouTube. We share some of these over on Facebook, but kind of YouTube is our sort of database for all of our videos. We're about 450 videos right now. We appreciate everybody watching, share our content. We get a lot of positive comments, and so give us a thumbs up, share this with somebody that you train with, and let us know what you think about it. Thanks, guys.